but and some of my students are here too, you know, Ken and some others. And when I'm looking at that mission statement, and there's all kinds of grandiose phrases there that to me are quite vacuous much of the time, but certainly not well defined, about the goal of the university being to improve the human condition, to be a transformative force in the world, et cetera, et cetera. And sometimes watching the behavior of the administration, I think they really want to be a center or an agency for community development and economic development, which is fine, got nothing against that. But it seems to me we've just lost sight of what is to me our major mission, our major purpose, our major objective, and that is to provide the best possible education we can for the students who are here under our guidance and under our trust. And to me, once you lose sight of that, that's when you get into all of these organizational exercises. I will leave it that way. But if we keep in mind that our main goal is to provide the best possible education we can for our students, that immediately directs our attention to what is really essential in the educational process, which is having adequate number of well-qualified faculty operating in departments who can develop good and intelligent curricula for teaching those students, working out and reaching with students as much as we can, and that everything else is appendage. Everything else is secondary. And I keep hearing this notion, you can't do everything. And that is often used as a rationale for saying, well, let's find the areas of research excellence that can attract money and forget about other kinds of things. When I hear the phrase, you can't do everything, that means that you have to have as your priority your most fundamental function, which is to provide the best quality education for your students. And it's the other stuff, important, interesting, useful as it may be, but if you neglect your basic purpose, your heart, your soul, your core, to me, you're no longer a university.
Yeah, I'm Dan Hamill. I'm a faculty member in geography and planning, and I guess I'm not going to say anything new, but I do want to reiterate what apparently a lot of academics agree on. And if a lot of academics agree on something, that's rather astounding. And that is, and I mean, I don't say that as an insult to academics. We're very thoughtful people usually, and we think about things deeply. And I think we've all looked at this, especially the plan for reorganization. And the most fundamental problem is we don't know what the problem is. I mean, there are lots of problems that we can all identify with the University of Toledo, but I wouldn't start with, well, I think it's the structure of the university. There's a great deal of structural determinism here. If we can change this structure, everything will be better. And, you know, we simply, I would ask the administration to tell us what's wrong. Why do you need to change this? Give us one good, solid reason that doesn't have any buzzwords. Don't say silos. I grew up in Kansas, spent 12 years in Illinois. I know what a silo is. I've been an academic for 20 to 25 years, if you want to count graduate school, and I haven't seen many silos. We don't think that way. Most of us read widely. We teach widely. We encourage our students to read widely. So these buzzwords we've been hearing over and over again, higher education's in crisis. We're in crisis because of our budgets. It's not that we're doing things wrong. We still attract outstanding students from Ohio and all over the world who are making decisions to spend a lot of money, and they're spending it here. So what's the problem? Why do we need to make these fundamental changes? I'm also got a bit of a planning background, and we always ask, what's the problem? And I've yet to hear a good, non-buzzword-laden explanation of what the problem is. And you know, if they can tell me precisely what it is, I'll be happy to work toward these changes. But I haven't heard that yet.
Okay, well, I've heard your comments, and I think I'm going to go ahead and make this proposal, this suggestion. I think this administration over 4 years has given us inept leadership, and we've never held them accountable for taking us down this road to a position where we're governed by fear and uncertainty, as Pete says. And so I would like to hold them accountable symbolically. Well, we're not even in formal session here. But I would like to make the proposal that we vote no confidence in this administration over the past 4 years. The Board of Trustees, the President, various provosts, the Dean, should all be held accountable for what you've described today in bringing us to a position where we're actually choosing between a dilemma, two bad choices. And I don't think that's the problem. The problem is in that leadership. And they haven't gotten the message. And perhaps we can give them a message by a vote of no confidence. So I'm suggesting here that we take that vote, and I proposed it to Linda.
As you said, David, we're not in formal session. I understand. Mike?
I understand what you're saying. I understand. It's Dr. Fudd to you. I understand what you're saying. And we've all heard the concerns today because we've heard them every day in every one of our departments for so long. But I would encourage you to reconsider your proposal for one main reason. We're not the faculty in this college. We are a group of people who are available at this time. I'm an elected member of Arts and Science Council, of Graduate Council, of Faculty Senate, and Research Council. Oh, I'm appointed to Research Council. I'm a strong advocate for shared governance. So but we're not Arts and Science Council today. And I think we need to put that into perspective. And number two, what we're reacting to today is the proposal coming from the Committee on Strategic Organization. We haven't heard back from the President yet. We haven't heard any reactions yet. So I'd ask you if you'd consider at least holding off. The faculty will be back in the fall. We can trust in the collective wisdom of our faculty. That's what I'm asking. If you just hold off. It may be inappropriate today because I'm not comfortable speaking for the college. We're not the college body here. And plus, we're reacting to something that's not from the administration per se. There's a lot of administrators on that committee, but we have yet to hear back from President Jacobs. Thank you.
Carter, did you want to say something in closing? And Nina?
I agree with Mike that this is not the first time I've agreed with you. But David, and I empathize with what you're trying to do, but this was an unplanned, unscheduled meeting, ad hoc report, and I think this is just not the time. However, I would suggest that, and let me respond to a question that was raised. What is the problem? In fact, we've been asking what is the problem, and I've been grappling with that, especially when I hear, the problem is the economic crisis impacting the university, but enrollment is up, we're doing okay financially, we haven't, and that's not the problem. And when I hear statements that we have to strive to be a relevant university, and I think universities set standards for society. This is the place where innovation comes from. And when I think, what is the problem, and I look at how things were done, to me, the problem is the way this was done. The problem is the top-down process of making decisions. The problem is the autocratic way of making decisions. And I would suggest that maybe